Iyamashanda oranda yao kubayanda koriyashiandondo Iyamanda ya korondoshia arandia korondomaya sho aratu. Good evening, everybody. My name is Blessing. My name is Roberto. Uh, my voice seems a bit better, but I don't want to get overexcited, overzealous, because I know my voice is kind of comes okay, and then it goes away. If you heard me singing in a foreign language, all I was singing was just a blessing over all those that is watching or is gonna watch on the replay. So that's what it's all about. First of all, I'd like to just say good evening, Moro. Thanks for helping on. Deeply appreciated. I think if I'm right, it's all the way from Italy. Awesome. Tonight I'm going to speak on a very sensitive subject, and it's all my own opinion. So if I do offend in any indirect manner, I humbly apologize. I'm only speaking from life experience and what I've seen and what I've heard. And my topic tonight is Set Me Free. And it makes one think, and it always was at the back of my mind, or shall I say, I spoke with myself, trying to sort out where, why, what the reason is. If my wife, a beautiful wife, Cheryl, decided she's gonna call it a day and don't want to be married, she wants to be single. And the only reason she's calling day because she wants to go in a new direction with her life. I think that will be extremely, extremely painful for me. So let me start from saying that Adam, as you understand from the Bible, although he's got different names in other holy scriptures, what we read as time went on, the creator saw that Adam was, I think, actually lonely. And for me, he was actually in solitary confinement. Adam could not speak to the animals. Nowhere does it say he spoke to the animals or spoke to the birds. It's mentioned he gave different names, different birds, different fruit trees, etc., etc. So, if Adam was in solitary confinement, even the Creator realized that Adam needs a partner. As you read from Scripture, a rib was removed from Adam to form Eve. So there we have a woman and a man in the garden. And then we read further as family. And now I have to look at another point. Is that man cannot be alone. I've seen quite often many couples that have become divorced will find the woman will remain single in most cases, and then the husband will get married. Sometimes the wife has passed on. A couple of months later, he gets married. So my conclusion from that is, man, a male, needs a soulmate. You can't go through life without a soulmate. A woman and a man, they are wired very differently. And it takes a lifetime to understand each other and to get to know one another. So it makes a lot of sense that when a couple break up, a man, a male, cannot or is unable to live all by himself. And I'm a testimony to that statement I made. Yesterday afternoon, I came from work, very tired. I went to lie down, and something which my wife has actually spoiled me. She asked me, "Brother, can I take off your shoes?" Well, I don't wear ordinary shoes, I wear safeties. So they're quite heavy. Those that work in any area where you need to wear safeties, and know how heavy they are. And she took them off of me. Another thing which I've also grown very attached to is that when I leave home, she'll kiss me goodbye or I'll kiss her goodbye. Pray before I go to work. And that affection that she shows makes a big difference in my perspective. Even when I come home, she'll be ready always with her lovely soft cheeks, offering me a kiss, most of the times on the lips. And I appreciate that very, very much. So for me, the statement or the proverb that says, "No man is an island," is very, very true. I remember a story I read some time ago. This gentleman got on a train, and unfortunately, something was bothering him. And he was making quite ugly remarks. But nobody answered him, nobody said anything, because the passengers noticed that this gentleman, something was bothering him. So he was standing in the passenger train. And there was a lady sitting like close to the apartment door. This guy was standing there. Obviously, he didn't want to sit down either. So while he was raving and shouting and screaming, the lady that was closest to him, an old lady, she took his hand and he looked. He stopped his shouting. Then somehow he sat down on his haunches and he started to cry. Well, the gentleman eventually calmed down. He got to his stop where to get off. Then the conductor, he came to the lady and said, "You were very, very brave and the courage to do that." And the lady said, all he needed was somebody to hold his hand. And that gave me a thought to this subject, which I'll bring up or want to go into: solitary confinement. I often wondered why Catholic priests are not allowed to get married. To be honest with you, I don't know. I don't have the answer. But for me, to live a solitary life with a vocation can be tough. I have the opportunity, even right now. My wife's got my back covered, and she's sharing this time with me. I look at a priest and I wonder sometimes, what are they going through? I mean, the priest, when he goes home at night, or wherever he resides, who does he speak to? You can read as much as you like, you can watch television, but there are times where you want to speak with another person. And my heart bleeds for the priest. Really, it bleeds. Because I just, in my personal capacity, I feel they are actually in solitary confinement. Maybe a lot of people prefer to be that way. But often, the priests, they are part of a community and they serve a community. They seeing families, seeing a husband and wife with children. And I ask myself the question, why is that option being withheld from them? In the Bible, it does not say you cannot get married. And no, in the Bible, it says divorce is not a good thing. So where does the priest stand? He hasn't really got a platform to stand on. When I'm having a hard day, or I come home from work, I have the peace of mind. My wife is at home, and I know when I come in by the door, she'll give me a kiss, take off my shoes, not always, but she knows the signs, make me a cup of tea. One Christmas, I was sitting in the church, and the priest mentioned something maybe about 15 years ago. I never will ever forget what he said. The priest said, all of you will go home as a family. You go to the Christmas tree and open up your presents. And then he said something which still to this day linger in my mind. When I, the priest, go home, I go home to an empty house. Yes, maybe we like the idea that Catholic priests don't get married, but they are human. Now recently, I don't know how true it is, I saw it on Facebook, the priest was snorting cocaine. I'm not here to condemn or judge, but what I'm saying is that the pressures of life get to them. If the Creator saw that Adam could not make it alone by himself, and that he needed a soulmate, a woman. So if the Creator could see a reason in that, then why must the Catholic priest be subjected to solitary confinement? Quite often, we take it so for granted that priests are fine. Maybe they are, I don't know. But when you read things in the news, we need to ask, what is the root problem? Not to judge them, not to hit the nails through their hands, but are they also victims of a system which was set up many, many years ago? As a human being, I do not or will not accept that it's fine to say, I'm an island, I can manage by myself. Whether we want to or don't want to, but as human beings, it's our nature to interact with one another. Whether it's in what category, it does not matter. But yet, quite often, the priest must be subjected to loneliness. Well, they don't complain about it. They don't complain about solitary confinement. Maybe they don't see it as solitary confinement. But I'm sure, speaking for myself, that I always have the opportunity, as long as my wife lives, to know when I leave the door, my back is covered. When I come home, there is arms that welcomes me. Quite often, people don't understand the life of a priest. They assume they do. And so often, people are so quick to criticize when they fall. There must be something that is wrong. There are some people that are bachelors that I understand. But being single, if that is a way of life, then one can't grow as a person. Coming back to the basics, the Creator saw Adam needed a soulmate. If the Creator could see why a man must have a woman as a soulmate, then there is logic behind what the Creator has created. There comes a time when one needs to change the format of things. Not necessarily break it down, like any bird needs to stretch its wings and fly and see different places. Even a bird is not lonely. Is it normal for us as human beings to be single all our life? If we look at nature in its whole, for every male there's a female. Whether we're referring to animals, what type of animal, what type of bird. Yet we as human beings believe that it's fine that Catholic priest is doing okay by living in solitary confinement. I am sure, in my humble opinion, that they would like to have a family. Good evening, Alec. Thanks for hopping on. I'm sure that when priests go visit their family and they see their brothers or sisters have a family, I'm sure there's something that goes off, there's a bell that goes off in the head that says, if I never choose this profession, how life would have been. So from the depth of my heart, I can't help asking the question, Catholic priests, are they be given a fair deal? To go through life all by yourself is not easy. When I get sick in the middle of the night, I can wake up my wife, tell her, Cheryl, I got a problem, I need this, I need that. And the priest gets sick in the middle of the night. Who does he turn to? And I think we've come to a point where if I look at something slightly different, Anglicans have women priests. For me, that is a big decision. So I'm not saying what other clergy decisions that they make, but everybody must follow. But I maintain one needs to be practical and relevant to what is happening today. I have the opportunity to say, well, I have a wife and 2 children. Good evening, Jeffrey. The thing that I am 100% sure is that I'd never, ever give up my marriage and decided that I'll choose the single life. Might work for other people. I've got no idea. I think we need to get to a point where Catholic priests need to be given a fair deal. Yes, it might not happen now, but a Catholic priest is a human. He's subjected to pain. He has emotions. He has health problems. So there's a lot of, or there's a need for the priest to be looked after. When the priest dies, what does he leave behind? The legacy? Yes, quite true. But I know for a fact, if I pass on, I have a wife and 2 grown kids. For me, that matters much. Because if there's no seed, there is no fruit. Point being, if the Creator does not see fit for man to be alone. Who is man to make that decision? That a Catholic priest must live in solitary confinement. Guys, thank you for watching. If you would like to, at the bottom, you can put any comments there. It's entirely up to you. So, at the end of the day, when the priest come home from a busy schedule, who does he come home to? Anyway, thanks for your time, guys. Thank you for watching. Thanks again, Mauro. I'm always watching your bike rides. You keep fit, sir. Bye-bye, everybody. Good night. Have a great week. Bye.